Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is May, and we need to talk about Sakuraco.
But see, if you would come right here and do something cute, that'd be a great intro. That is absolutely perfect. Yeah, that was perfect.
Sakuraco. Poor dear Sakuraco. In my last Sakuraco unboxing, I said that they were wonderful, and that I loved them, and that everyone should subscribe to them. And I 100% stand by everything I said. I love Sakuraco. But, sometimes, when you grow up, you have to make financial decisions. And we all know that the first thing to go in a budgeting situation is the entertainment. So, I'm not saying that I'm never going to resub, but right this exact second, there was something that was more important than candy. If you care what was more important than candy, I'm going to say at the end. Okay. Anyway, so this is a Teally. Why am I talking about Sakuraco? What's happening here? First of all, hi. Welcome. A Teally is when I try tea and the jelliest type thing from the previous Sakuraco. So no more Sakuracos means no more Teallys, question mark? Well, there's still content, okay, and make this clear. I still have content. I have candy kits, I have a couple of noodle pops coming up. This might not be like the last Teally ever. It's just for now. So let's get into this. We'll start with the tea. Just let me find it here. Okay. So, the tea from February is caramel bergamot hojicha. The sweetness of caramel melts the bright citrus flavor of bergamot meets. I have a reading disability, so please bear with me. I'm going to try this again. The sweetness of caramel meets the bright citrus flavor of bergamot with this hojicha, or roasted green tea, to create an aromatic cup with a mellow body and gentle warmth. So there are brewing instructions. I almost never follow the brewing instructions, but we'll see what they say. Place the tea bag in a teacup and add 200 milliliters of 90 degrees Celsius water. No. No. I'm going to push the button. When it goes pop, I'm going to pour the water. Steep tea for 30 to 60 seconds, depending on my preferred strength. Longer is usually better. I just kind of let it sit while I deal with this. Gently shake the bag before removing. Okay. So, I'm just going to put hot water in a cup. I'm not going to measure. I'm not going to check the temperature. I understand that that will affect the flavor, but how many people do you honestly know that are making tea with a thermometer and like a measuring cup? Honestly. If you know someone or you are that person, let me know. And don't be like tea ceremony stuff, because like that's different. But like just normal, everyday, look, I have a bag of tea. No one, I'm not going to say no one does that, but I've never met someone in my personal life that has ever done that. Okay. Next is, there was no jelly in the last Sakuraco, so I saved the mochi, because if you've watched this playlist, then you know that mochi counts as jelly even though it's not. Okay, so this is chocolate mochi. encased in a supple chocolate-infused mochi shell. This indulgent treat also boasts a thin marshmallow layer and a dense fudgy filling. Each bite offers a gentle chew that gives way to a smooth texture and the rounded depth of cocoa. Common allergens are dairy, soy, and gelatin. May contain traces of wheat, egg, walnuts, orange, sesame, banana, peach, and apple. It is not vegetarian friendly. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this up to the kitchen and make it. I don't bring you with me because it's really awkward. And then I don't think I'm going to plate this. Normally I show like a plating, but they're individually wrapped. Just little mochis. So I think I'm just going to do it this way. So I will be back in a transition. Okay, so while the tea steeps, I'm going to try one of these. Where's this? Look at this, not my face. Okay. Smells really chocolatey. Oh no. Why does the tastiest thing on the planet sound so horrible? Oh. These are amazing. They're chocolatey, and they're squishy, and they're chewy, and they're stretchy, and they're all of the things that mochi is, but also like sweet and chocolatey. Like how chocolate is. And it's got like a little nug of chocolate right in the middle, so I really like that. I was about to say you can't go wrong with mochi, but you can't. You can go very wrong with mochi, actually. Anyway, I don't really know what I'll say about it. It's delicious. I recommend trying it if you find it. I'm gonna eat the whole bag. Also, technically, it's daifuku. Because mochi is the outside layer. Sometimes you get mochi and it's just like a solid piece of mochi. But when there's stuff inside, like there's stuff inside this one, then it's daifuku. And it says so on the package. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway. For those of you who have been screaming at your screen this entire time, yes, I'm sorry, daifuku. Mochi. At least I don't think that mochi has to be wrapped around ice cream, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Now then, next up is the tea. Give it a little stir. I did not measure and I did not check the temperature, but I waited a few seconds before pouring the water out of the kettle, so maybe it cooled down a couple of degrees. I'm saying it wasn't still bubbling when I poured it, okay? So, that's the best you're gonna get. Alright. Shake it off. if you started singing, you need to like this video. And also, I'm so sorry. It's one of those artists where I like 2 of her songs, but that's... All the Swifties are mad at me now. Anyway, here's the tea bag. And the tea itself. It's a really nice color. Again, we're having the issue of the backlit. I need you guys to be able to see what color it is from this angle. It's beautiful. Anyway. That's an interesting scent. It's still way too hot to drink, so I'm just gonna sniff it for a minute. That's... I don't know how I feel about that. You can smell the caramel smell. It's really like sugary, like burnt sugar, which is what it is, but it's like, you can really smell it. And the bergamot really comes out. So it's like... I don't... Because there's the sweet burnt sugar of the caramel, and then there's the sharp citrus of the bergamot. I mean, I'm gonna try it, but... I am gonna hate editing this. I've just been sitting here saying, Okay. To be clear, I love citrus. Like lemons, yuzu, limes, all of it. So the bergamot is not the problem. I've also had caramel hojicha before, and I loved it. So that's not the problem. I don't think these flavors go together. No. No. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. What is this flavor? It reminds me of something unpleasant from childhood. It's never good when something tastes unpleasant from childhood. No. And I don't think it's this messing with anything, because if anything, this would just bring out the sweetness of the caramel also, right? I am at a loss for words. I do not like this. I don't think bergamot and caramel go together. Maybe you would think that they do. I'm sure there are people with different palates than I have that would really enjoy this. I do not enjoy this. I'm wondering if my partner would enjoy this. He really likes bergamot, and you can taste the citrus. The citrus is coming through, but The citrus and the caramel are both coming through at the same time. They're not mixing to make a new flavor. They're just screaming at each other that neither of them actually wants to be there. But again, you might like it. And you know what? It's something that I've never tried before. I'm really sad that I had to unsub from Sakuraco. Like really, really almost gonna cry about it sad. Yeah, if you have the means and the want, then you should definitely 100% subscribe to Sakuraco, because they're awesome. Never ever once was I sponsored, never ever once did I get special treatment. The account that I was using was under a different name, so even if they saw my videos, they couldn't like find me on their list to do anything special. If I ever do resub, then I'm gonna miss out on my handful of bonus snacks. Which is probably fine, because I didn't really like most of them anyway, but that's not the point. Alright, so win, fail, win. That is everything I have for this possibly last Teally. Probably not last Teally, but they're definitely not going to be as regular as they were. That's that. Thank you so much for watching, and please like this video if you liked this video. And subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Next week is going to be part 1 of 2. It's a lucky bag unboxing. Why was that so hard to say? It's Japan All Lucky Bag Unboxing, part 1 of 2. And then the week after that is going to be part 2 of 2. And like, subscribe, comment anything that you want to say. I don't always respond because I'm terrified that I'm going to like misread it and then like say something stupid, but I do read them and I try to do the creator heart for all of them because I love you and I love your comments, but like I said, I'm a little bit terrified. So, yay, social anxiety. Anyway, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Thank you again so much for watching. Bye! It was fish. Fish are more important than candy. I have 2 goldfish. 2 common goldfish that go to like, I think 6 inches is like the max. I hope 6 inches is the max. Anyway, I have 2 of them in a 10-gallon tank. That's like having a Great Dane in a cat carrier. It's not okay. It was never my intention to have 2 commons in a tiny little tank. To be honest, it was never my intention to have 2 commons, period. But here's where we are. So instead of resubscribing to Sakuraco, like renewing my subscription to Sakuraco, I bought a 37-gallon tank, and it's cycling as we speak, and I'm gonna give my little fishies the home that they deserve. Because it doesn't matter what animal it is. If you bring an animal into your home, you are responsible for it. You are responsible for making it happy and healthy, and if that means that you don't get candy and you need to buy a tank, then that's what happens.